Okay, so imagine you're at a huge house party. It's packed, the music's loud, people are all
It's a
talking.
classic scene.
Right. But then you bump into someone and they just repeat a phrase you heard someone else say like 5 minutes ago. No apology, nothing.
It's
It
unsettling.
gets weirder. You start to really look around and you realize something is deeply wrong. Maybe 60% of the people at this party, they're not people.
Oh, wow.
They're just mannequins with tape recorders playing loops of old conversations. And the worst part, the few actual humans left, they're arguing with the mannequins.
That is a pretty horrifying metaphor to kick things off with. But I
Yeah.
mean, based on our research for this deep dive, it's also a shockingly accurate one for the internet right now.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are tackling something that I honestly used to think was just a weird bit of internet folklore. We are talking about the dead internet theory.
Right. And we should probably clarify that right away, because when people hear that phrase, they immediately think of, those wild conspiracy threads.
The tinfoil hat version, exactly. The original idea was that the internet literally died around 2016 or so.
And then some secret cabal, flipped a switch and replace us all with bots.
To control our minds, which is, let's be honest, it's paranoid nonsense.
Agreed. But here's the twist, and this is why we're talking about it. The conspiracy theorists were wrong about how there's no secret room with a big red button.
But they were accidentally right about the what? About the trajectory. We have reached a point where the authentic human internet is just being drowned out.
We've hit what some sources are calling the bot horizon.
I love that term. It sounds so ominous, so final.
It does. It sounds like a sci-fi movie title. But the definition is pretty simple. The bot horizon is that tipping point where you can't reliably tell a bot from a human anymore.
So your default assumption for any online interaction has to flip.
Exactly. It goes from probably a person to probably not a person.
And the whole point of this deep dive is to look at the evidence that suggests we haven't just, approached this horizon. We might have sailed right past it and didn't even notice.
We're going to unpack the numbers, which are, frankly, staggering, and then get into what's being called the generative flood, this new wave caused by AI.
And later, I really want to focus on survival. How do we even operate in a world where everything you read might be fake?
Well, we have to start with the scale of it all, because I think most of us, myself included, until recently, assume bots are, a small fraction of the internet.
Maybe 5%, 10 on a bad day. That's what I thought. You see some crypto spam on Twitter, you roll your eyes, you move on.
But the actual traffic reports, they tell a very different story. It's not 5%.
Not even close?
No. The consensus, depending on the study, puts total bot traffic at somewhere between 40 and 60% of the entire internet.
So half. Half of everything is machines talking to machines.
Roughly, yeah. Now, to be fair, some of that is good bots.
Huh.
Search engine crawlers, monitoring tools, the basic plumbing of the web.
But not all of it.
Not by a long shot. A huge and growing percentage is what the industry calls bad bots.
We're talking about that 2023 Imperva study, right?
That's the one. It found 47.4% of all traffic was bots, and nearly half of that was malicious. Scrapers stealing content, spammers, accounts trying to impersonate you.
It's like living in a city where half the people you see are cardboard cutouts that are also trying to pick your pocket.
A great way to put it. And that's just the big picture. When you zoom in on specific platforms, it gets even worse. Take X, formerly Twitter.
Oh, the X numbers are a total mess. The official company line for years was always less than 5% fake.
Which no security researcher ever believed. Not for a second.
No, and then it came out that their methods for detecting them were, let's say, very generous. Outside researchers always put the number closer to 15, maybe 20%.
And that was just for the obvious fakes, the dumb bots. It's so much more sophisticated now. But honestly, Instagram is where the pure economics of it really hit me.
The market price.
The market price for fake engagement. You can go on a website right now and buy 1,000 likes for $10.
And these aren't the old egg profiles anymore?
No. These accounts have AI-generated profile pictures, they have bios, they have a history of posts. They look just real enough to pass the glance test.
And that's the key, isn't it? The glance test. We scroll so fast, we never look deeper.
But my favorite, or I guess my least favorite example has to be YouTube. Just look at the comment section on any popular video.
It's a wasteland.
It's worse than a wasteland, it's a hallucination. You'll see a normal comment like, great video, and then 10 replies to it that are just bots talking to other bots to make their scam link look popular.
It's software engaging with software to trick an algorithm that is also software.
And we're just the audience watching it happen.
But here's the really scary part. Every single number we just mentioned, the 47%, that was all largely before the AI boom.
Correct. That was pre-LLM, before GPT-4 and Midjourney changed the game completely.
So we were already drowning, and then someone opened the floodgates.
And this is what we mean by the generative flood. To really get it, you have to think about the economics. It always comes down to cost.
Okay, break it down. What's different now compared to, say, the spam we got 10 years ago?
Cost of creation. A decade ago, if you wanted to create a fake blog post or run a disinformation campaign, you needed a human to type it.
Even in a low-cost content farm, you're still paying someone a salary.
Exactly. Let's say it costs $50 for a decent article, or even $5. That cost is a natural barrier. It limits how much junk can be produced.
Right, there's a physical or at least an economic limit to spam.
But with AI, generating a whole article doesn't cost $5. It costs fractions of a penny in API calls. Maybe less.
So the financial barrier to entry it's gone.
It has completely evaporated. And what you get are these AI-powered content farms on an industrial scale. Sites publishing hundreds, even thousands of articles a day.
I've seen these. I was looking for a repair manual for my dishwasher last week.
And what did you find?
I clicked a link, and it was this rambling 2,000-word article that just kept repeating the name of the dishwasher over and over. It had zero actual information.
And it was probably generated in less than a second.
Okay.
But it tricked Google, and it tricked you long enough to load the ads.
And it's not just search results. I mean, what's happening on Amazon's Kindle store is genuinely dangerous.
You're talking about the mushroom books.
Yes, the mushroom foraging guides. People are using AI to write and publish these guidebooks, but the AI sometimes just makes things up. It'll label a poisonous mushroom as safe to eat.
That is the perfect example of the danger. It's not just annoying spam anymore. It is the pollution of our collective knowledge.
Yeah.
The Kindle store is absolutely flooded.
Because if it costs nothing to make, you only have to sell 1 or 2 copies to turn a profit.
And the quality is just good enough to fool you at first glance. There was a study recently, I think, that said 73% of people can't reliably tell AI writing from human writing.
So we're flying blind. We can't trust reviews. We can't trust comments.
And it's not just the volume, it's the targeting. Old spam was obvious. BY Viagra now. It was generic.
You knew it was a bot because it had nothing to do with the conversation.
Now, an AI can read the context of a conversation. If you tweet that you're angry about a delayed flight, a bot can reply with a personalized, sympathetic message that ends with, "Hey, this travel insurance company really helped me out."
That's diabolical.
It's personalized manipulation at scale,
Oh.
which leads us right to the death of public opinion. If you can automate a conversation, you can automate a social movement.
This is astroturfing, right? Fake grassroots.
Exactly, making a corporate or a political agenda look like it's a spontaneous popular movement.
But again, that's not new, is it? Bad actors have always tried to do this.
They have, but look at the logistics. Think about the 2016 election interference stuff. Whatever you think about the politics, the mechanics of it required troll farms.
The actual buildings full of people.
Yes. People at desks being paid to manually argue with strangers on Facebook all day. It cost tens of millions of dollars.
It was a labor-intensive operation.
Fast forward to today. You don't need a building. You don't need a payroll. A single person with a good computer can now run 10,000 convincing online personas at once.
One person, 10,000 bots.
And these bots have consistent histories. They have unique AI-generated profile pictures that you can't reverse image search. They talk to each other to seem more real.
So a company can launch a bad product, and instead of fixing it, they can just deploy 5,000 bots to post positive reviews and drown out the real customers.
Or bury a competitor. Or manufacture a controversy out of thin air. The line between marketing and mass manipulation it's gone.
Which is terrifying because we all rely on social proof to make decisions. If a movie is getting praised everywhere, I'm more likely to see it.
And that mental shortcut we all use is now completely and cheaply hackable. This gets us to the idea of information collapse. It's a problem of asymmetric warfare.
What do you mean asymmetric?
Think about the cost, the energy. How much does it cost to generate a piece of bullshit? A fake review, a fake news article.
Seconds and fractions of a penny.
Exactly. Now, how much does it cost you as a human to disprove it? You have to check sources, cross-reference articles, look up the author.
It takes minutes, Maybe hours.
So the attacker has a 1,000-to-1 cost advantage. It is fundamentally unsustainable for us to manually verify everything.
It's Brandolini's law. The amount of energy needed to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude bigger than what's needed to produce it.
And when verification becomes too expensive, what happens? Trust collapses. We stop trusting everything. Amazon reviews, news articles, search results. The open internet becomes a toxic landfill.
Okay, that is incredibly bleak. So the internet is a landfill party full of mannequins. The bots have won. I feel like if you're listening to this, you're probably ready to just unplug everything.
I get that. But we did promise some survival strategies, and there are ways to adapt. But the internet we're moving towards, it's going to look very different.
So if the open public web is now the spam web, where do the actual humans go?
We go into hiding, basically. We're seeing a huge migration to what are called walled gardens.
So private spaces.
Think about where your best online conversations happen now. Is it in a public Twitter thread? Or is it in a private Discord server with friends? A Slack channel for work? A group chat?
Yeah, it's definitely the group chat. I barely post publicly anymore.
That's the walled garden. Communities with a gatekeeper. An invite is required. We're retreating from the public square into private living rooms.
Which feels safer, but also a little sad. The whole promise of the early internet was this global village. Now we're just locking our doors.
It's the dark forest theory of the internet. You stay quiet and hidden to avoid the predators. In this case, the bots. But there's another retreat happening too. To meet space.
Back to real life.
Exactly. One of the strongest points in the source material was that we could see a huge cultural shift back towards valuing in-person connection, precisely because it's provably real.
You know, the person across the table from you isn't a large language model, at least for now.
For now, yes. Physical presence might become the ultimate premium product.
But we can't all just log off forever. We have jobs. So are there any technical fixes on the horizon?
A few ideas are being floated. The most controversial is probably paid proof.
Like the blue check mark.
Sort of, but purely economic. The idea is that you have to pay to speak. Even if it costs just 1 cent to post a comment, it makes mass botting completely uneconomical.
Because a million spam comments would suddenly cost $10,000.
It breaks the business model. The downside, of course, is that the internet becomes a pay-to-play space. It's less democratic.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love that. So only people with money get to have an opinion.
It's a serious trade-off. Another idea is reputation staking, where the age and history of your account become your most valuable asset.
So my ancient Reddit account from college is actually worth something now.
In a way, yes. Trust will be tied to longevity. A brand new account will be treated with extreme suspicion, probably ignored by default. We'll stop listening to online strangers completely.
So for someone listening right now, what's the immediate practical advice?
Number 1, default skepticism. It sounds cynical, but you have to assume everything you see is a bot or AI generated until you have a good reason to believe otherwise.
Don't trust the avatar.
Number 2, ignore the metrics. This one is hard because our brains are wired to see a million views and think this must be important.
But it's all fake.
It's fake currency. Likes, views, followers. It's all for sale. Don't let it fool you into thinking an opinion is popular or a product is good.
And what's the last one?
Pay for quality.
Back to economics again.
Always. A paywall is a filter. If a journalist had to be paid to write an article, and you have to pay to read it, the chance of it being low-effort AI sludge goes way down. The free internet is where the bots thrive. The paid internet is where humans are retreating.
So support the creators and publications you actually trust, because the alternative is just swimming in spam forever.
That's the new reality.
So to wrap this all up, the dead internet theory wasn't a conspiracy. It was a prophecy driven by simple economics. AI made it cheaper to fake being human than to actually be human online.
The bots won the war for volume. It was inevitable.
But I want to leave our listeners with one final thought, kind of a silver lining. For 20 years, we've been told that our digital lives are real life. We've poured so much of ourselves into these screens.
And now that screen is mostly just a mirror reflecting AI-generated noise back at us.
So maybe this forces us to finally look up from the phone. If the digital world is a dead mall full of mannequins, maybe it's time to go outside and find some real people to talk to.
The death of the internet could be the rebirth of reality.
I like that. The internet is dead. Long live the coffee shop. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time. Stay real.